Yeah. Everybody ready? Today is September 9th, 2024. This is the Crestone Board of Trustees meeting. It's held in both Zoom and in person. Time is 9:34. To ensure timely completion of the town's business, the following procedures will be followed. All participants must keep their microphones muted and videos off except during citizens' comments or when called on to speak by the board. Per section 7.3 of our procedures and rules of order, we allow 15 minutes total for citizens' comments. Each speaker has up to 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name and address before speaking. If your comments exceed 3 minutes or allotted time expires, please send your comments to town hall as correspondence for the board's response. If multiple citizens share the same comments, please be brief. Unspoken comments can be submitted to town hall for inclusion as correspondence at the next regular meeting. Will you call roll, please? Ariel?
Mayor Byer,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Kinney,
Here.
Trustee Lakai,
Here.
Trustee Martinez,
Here.
Trustee Paulson,
Here.
Trustee Oglesby. Here. Trustee Mendez Sanchez is absent with notice, and also in attendance is Town Clerk Ariel Blackman.
Next, we have a vision statement. Sure.
Historic Crestone, Colorado exemplifies small mountain town beauty within a community committed to sustainable living practices and spiritual traditions. The town continues to celebrate its pioneering spirit and unique diversity through contemporary self-reliance. Crestone's goals are to enhance economic viability, environmental preservation, renewable energy use, and social responsibility.
Thank you. Trustee Oglesby. Next we have approval of agenda. Any comments, concerns, changes, updates? We're probably gonna move attorney's report, depending on when he shows up, so we're gonna have to shift that depending on our attorney. Is he planning on showing up today?
I didn't get a final answer,
Okay,
but he was trying to.
all right, hopefully, I asked him to come in person, but that doesn't mean he will.
We've got a public hearing today.
We have a pretty good size agenda, as you can see, so let's just keep moving through. We have approval of a minute, actually, I would entertain approval to, a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Second, Dana. Any other comments, concerns? All in favor? Aye. Next, we have approval of minutes from the regular board meeting, August 12th, 2024. Very detailed minutes, thank you. I see.
Are they detailed?
No, I like them like that. The only thing is that you can't, it's hard to find mistake, like typos and stuff, because you're just trying to read it all. But it was very good, very detailed and very thorough.
I make the motion to approve the minutes of August 12, 24 of the regular meeting.
Their second,
Second.
yes, all in favor?
Aye.
Since I wasn't here, should I abstain? Is that the way to do
I
that?
do, I'm not there.
Okay, then I abstain because I wasn't present.
Next, we have the special meeting, August 26th, 2024. Any comments? Changes?
I'll make a motion that we accept the board trustees special minutes of the special meeting of August 26, 2024.
For a second,
Okay.
any more discussion? All in favor? Next is citizens' comments. On Zoom, anybody on Zoom want to make a citizens' comments?
No, thank you.
Hearing none, seeing none, move on to presentation of the bills. Is there any outstanding bills that we need to talk about? That weren't approved?
I have a question.
Oh, wait, I want to go back real quick. Do you want to do you want to introduce yourself during citizens' comments, just so? Or do you? Just say, yeah. Just say who you are, just say, introduce yourself, because I asked, Sean to show up just in case, down the road, we're looking for another trustee. Sean will, possibly be available. He sits in on this meeting and he decides that it's, something you're interested in, and we still have to approve the resignation of Armando, but
Yeah, I remember you.
yeah.
Well, hi, I'm Sean Mamanakis. I pretty much know most of you guys. Nice to see you all. I don't have any comments.
Okay.
And I was kind of working and something online back and forth, so I ran back.
No problem. We're just wanted you to introduce yourself so that, people know who you are and if you,
Ariel, Kissin, Adam, Benji, Kim. Dennis?
Yep.
Dana.
Hi, Sean.
How you doing? I'll sit back.
no? Thank you. Okay, now let's move on to presentation of bills.
I have a question.
Yes,
I saw the hours that the attorney put in, but he didn't, was there a bill? Because I didn't see-
I signed a bill.
Okay.
No, it was normal, the normal 10 hours.
Okay. So I need.
Yep.
Make a motion that we approve the bills as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any more discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, move on to treasurer's report, summary bank accounts.
Is Kim here?
Yeah, she's in the office.
Over.
I didn't know that we were three checking.
This is this 42,000 that we collected in the month of August or
For the month.
for the month. Nice. Hi, Jim. Hello. Sorry, so it's
You can sit there. Oh, I prefer her sitting at the table. We're on to the number one summary bank accounts. General fund checking reconciliation.
No.
You want to give your report or how would you like to do it?
Do you want to walk through any of the documents or any questions about, what you received in your packets? But I have a verbal report to get to as well, but.
Okay, let's just do that then and start off.
So I have now transitioned the books with the help of Dana Ryder to QuickBooks Online. There's still some refinements to make to the situation, for example. How exactly to handle the capital projects fund, it's been a completely separate company, so. Like deciding, should it be a completely separate company in QuickBooks Online or go to classes? There's a classes feature in QuickBooks as well, so there's a few questions and we'll resolve those. Probably with the help of a government CPA, because I think that is one of those questions where we need to nail down the procedures, proper procedures. Yeah. So that's happened and still, you know, like I said, there's still a few things, but majorly that's finished.
Is it a lot easier?
Yes, although, you know, there's a transition process and I haven't, like the check alignments or the alignment of printing and stuff, that's been a little bit finicky, but it's coming along. It will definitely be easier eventually. And by eventually, I mean weeks, not months. I also put in your packet towards the end, I think at the end, is the letter from Virginia West about the work that we completed together and I don't know if you saw or read it and had any questions or had any questions for her about it. That can be, you know, put a pin in that and do it another time, of course.
I didn't have any questions about, did you?
She said something about $2,000 that was just unidentified, is that the hotel?
When she put the budget in a spreadsheet and did the math, it just was off by 2,000 because just it. I don't even remember, was it plus or minus, but it was not quite perfect.
And so that will be obviously shown to the auditor so that I mean, at least he knows, because isn't that something that he would
No.
wanna know? No?
No, because we went with then the actual numbers. I mean, we put in the numbers and so, you know, what's in QuickBooks, that's what's being tracked. Hence forward in time, if you understand. So I don't think we know
It should
where the
miscellaneous, right.
$1,000 was, but we're going with what's in the accounting system.
On the check register? Paycheck split, are you just going between town hall and public works?
No, that's all the taxes, like, that split indicates more information in there, and so like, you know, Social Security, Medicare, all the different kinds of taxes are split out of each paycheck. So, one thing I kind of highlighted it on. I highlighted it on the capital projects fund, transaction history. I noticed as I was looking at that and making.
Where's that,
It's on like, it's probably
beginning or?
4 pages in, 5 pages in. The
Capital fund.
yeah, this transaction history. It looks like that. In 2023, I noticed that the amount for that DOLA grant payment, I'm presuming that is what it is, didn't match up with what is in the register. So that payment was made from the bank account, but I see another payment right at the same time that isn't perfectly matching, and so that was just an error back in.
Is that the $10,000 that's highlighted in there?
Right, in the register, in the capital project register, it just is not the same number. It happened about the same time and there's not that much action in those accounts, so in that particular account, there's hardly anything that happens except interest payment and, or the sales tax deposit, the 1/7 sales tax.
Is that something you understand or need help understanding?
I think it's just a straight up error, and so I'll have to figure out, like. So the payment came out of the account, 10,999.70. But in the register, it wasn't that amount.
Is that the type of question you would reserve for a CPA? Or do you feel like you can?
I think we can just make the adjustment, but those books are, closed, and so I would take that up to the auditor. I will bring that to his attention.
Okay. Do you have an ongoing list of auditor and CPA questions?
Good idea.
Yeah.
It's a very good idea. More or less, yes, but not a defined one, I guess, it's the answer. And I did
Go ahead.
talk to Ronnie, well, I guess it was email. And shared, so he had some questions, he came to me with questions, which was good, because I really haven't heard from him very much. So he had some questions, and I sent him the letter, which I had just gotten from Virginia. And then he's gone on vacation, and he said when he comes back, he'll be in touch and give us a letter of engagement. So he was very definitive in that, that's the first clear,
Awesome.
yes.
At one of our meetings recently, we talked about some of us calling CPAs. So I started to call some, couldn't get many on the phone, but then I heard from you that you were talking to a potential.
I have not reached out to her yet, but yes, I think I have a very good lead from someone, so I will do that this week.
Okay,
Karen. Yeah, she's not local, but she works with the Background.
do you email or phone call? If you
Um,
email, could you attach me or Dennis on it so we can kind of
Yeah.
engage in the process?
Sure, yeah, if I call her, I'll loop you in right away.
And then,
Called like 15 CPAs and everyone was like, no, we're not taking anyone new. Is that what
I
your
got-
experience was?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't call.
thanks for trying. Yeah,
So yeah,
I had a feeling that we were gonna get that a little bit.
Yeah, it's just because it's
I
like,
was surprised we got an audit.
extension season and everything, so
Right.
it's like. I
Audit-
guess like all of the CPAs in the valley retired, except for Wall Smith and Bateman.
What about the bank? Have you heard anything from them as far as CDs and?
That's on my list here too, so yeah, no, I haven't talked to the bank, I haven't done anything with the bank yet, but it's on my list this week to get on that.
They were specifically supposed to give us like, almost like a proposal
Yeah,
for
for the CD.
ideas as far as how we're, and we can maybe get a special rate or something like that, so that would be really cool.
And that might be as easy as sending one of those two people or both of them, just a reminder email.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have other things to talk to them about. I need to start those other accounts. Actually, and. We could talk about this in the finance committee, but I do have questions about that. I mean, I keep thinking it's rental related, but I think it's supposed to be specific to deposits.
security deposit.
Security deposits for the rents, the buildings and stuff, right?
Right.
And then there's
I don't
another
know
one.
if we still have rental deposits, like maybe from this rental next door, if we still have that, just like sitting in our general fund. But that would be what you'd use to start it. Or, I don't know if we have many other rentals besides just that one. We went upstairs, but we're still deciding on how we want to do that. How we want to use the upstairs. So, But I'm saying that I don't know what the rental deposit was that Dewey gave us, but he needed money to start that specific account, that would probably be what you use.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll research that, what the deposit was.
Okay.
And there's another one, there's another account that needs to be started. Do you remember?
There's either the savings or the court escrow, but I think we found a savings account that we could use.
Yeah, there are a couple of things.
And I think the court escrow,
Okay, court, that's-
but we might be able to put that in with the deposits, you know. Security deposits.
Maybe another question for you. CPA.
Yeah, it'll be nice when we go through those CDs and we figure out, how to either combine them or find, cause they're just kind of separate lines on the accounts that you don't exactly know what's going on with them, right? I mean, you're still trying to mysteriously figure out what some of those are.
You mean the CDs, the ones that are identified as CDs?
What's so fun?
I think, was that you tapping your phone?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
It was good.
If I could.
Sorry.
So if you look at the accounts, you have, other savings, I see. Do we know what that was set up for, the $6,964?
No, I don't, I haven't really been looked in there, I might, of course, if I did look. See some information about, what it's been used for in the past, but no.
I mean, I just think that it might be nice to go through the accounts that we already have open and try to figure out exactly why we have them, and then if we can use them for other. We might not need to
Right.
open up too many other ones.
Well, like the payroll account, I was thinking of getting that, using that as the rent deposits.
Yeah.
Account,
Okay,
because it has no use, I don't know why it was started or established, it's just been sitting there.
And that one fellow was gonna help you nickname everything.
I hope so, yes, that's what he said. I'd gotten another answer from the teller, sure, but it's not really.
He probably,
Yeah, hope so.
cause yeah, it would be really awesome if all of these had nicknames. And we knew exactly what they were.
yeah. I can assume that these ones that say 18M, 100, 18M, those are CDs.
Yes, all the rest. From where it,
Other
below
savings.
that other savings,
Okay.
all the rest are the CDs.
Cool. And can you tell the board anything more about your CGFOA efforts? Cause I think that's impressive.
The budget,
No, the training or classes,
yeah, yeah, those are kind of ongoing. And there's some specifically geared towards budget. Understanding how to develop the budget and so on. The one you might be referring to where I saw the summary, and said it was, it was a Zoom meeting about developing budgets, and a good example that they used was the Vaca Grande water and sand. So like there's their summary page, so I actually reached out to them and had some meetings. I went and talked to Diego Martinez over there, the director, and just kind of starting a dialogue with them, just to, locals who have a better understanding potentially of certainly more than I do about the budget process.
so CGFOA is Colorado Government Finance Officers Association, which is something that probably every person who works in government finance should take, but I don't know that we've ever had the treasurer even look at any of that. So to me, it seems like you're starting to access that resource to learn more.
Right.
And I think that's impressive.
Totally.
But you were saying that you didn't think that we had to supplement our budget, but, is that coming from that training that you did?
Partly, yes, and partly some information I saw online and just kind of read it and like, no, I'm not sure, you know. I'm not sure. And so I want to find out more. I did specifically put the question to Virginia West. And so basically the supplementing process is if you run over your budget in total, like if you overspend your budget, then you engage in that process, but it's not a line by line,
Oh, I see.
because you can always move money
Gotcha.
between accounts. It's the bottom line.
Okay.
So then it's debatable whether or not we have to do it or not, but I feel like at least Dennis and I were like, well, let's just do it and do
Yeah.
our extra effort and we'll learn more and we'll all get a better understanding of what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
And
just
it'll be
looking
used
at,
for 25 as well.
Parts of it will be, definitely,
Mhm.
but parts of it won't.
I mean, just looking at, you know, budget versus actuals for January to August. It's like our actual and our budget are really, really different,
Yeah,
a lot different.
but line by line versus the big picture.
Right.
I wondered about living wisdom and the $25,000 that we have from them. And, you know, obviously, we could just set it aside. And actually, that's where the supplementing, there's something about like, I'm not sure now if it's portion or supplementing, but you can't spend money that you get sort of unexpectedly, that you're not anticipating in a given budget year. You're not supposed to spend, you know. I wouldn't,
But we wrote it into the supplemental, right?
into this, I wasn't sure that it was in this.
We did, because we have 26,000 in the tap fees,
Okay.
so that accounts for that.
Do you think that,
Which means we
Yeah.
can't afford to set it aside based on this, because we only have that $10,000 cushion.
you think we would call it tap fees as opposed to anything? I mean, we were expecting to receive tap fees. We didn't get it, and so this was kind of like the compensation for not getting tap fees,
Could be the impact fee.
impact fee.
My hope is that it would go into a separate capital improvement fund, and as Adam just said, it probably should sit exactly where it was put. The other question that would come up when we final out the flow meter grant with Randy, there'll be additional monies coming in, and where would we want to put that? Probably in the same category as that on people.
There might be another question for the government CPA, and we can't, like, if there's anything, you know, shifty about putting it in the tap fees. I mean, I don't feel like, logically, I don't think there is, but legally, would there be?
Yeah, if we had our enterprise fund back with water and sewer, there'd be no question, it would just go in there, but we don't. Do we have a total on what's coming back from Lola on that flow meter
No,
area?
I don't.
Well, we don't have a line item that says impact fee, but we have a line item that says water and sewer tap fees. And we don't have enough money to put that anywhere other than in the general fund right now. So it seems like keeping it there to me makes sense. And if we get that money back from the flow meter, that might go under, you know, grant remittance or something. And then if we wanted to, I don't see why we couldn't take that and put it in the capital fund. Or have a cushion, but it also looked like we have $113,000 in the capital fund, which is pretty great. Is that, I read that
I
right?
think, yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
And that's after the July contribution, or not July, August contribution.
Yes.
oh, yeah, what was the most recent sales tax revenue?
It's like 43 something.
That's great.
No, I don't think it is in here.
$43,333.
Where's that?
Town of Crestone profit lost August 2024. So, let's see. Right after,
What page number?
it's page 40 on mine.
Yeah,
Sales tax 4104.
I see sales tax 43.
43.
Yeah, okay. That's great.
The page after that, I had a quick question about, there's item 611 or line 61101 employee wages. 7,301.36. And then down below, there's 6210 employee wages for 6,132.
Okay, so you're at 61101, is that right?
Yep,
Okay, and
and then all the way down, there's 62101 for 6,000. I'm wondering,
that's public works. So it's town hall and public works.
no, I understand.
That's for the whole month.
Yeah, that's August.
Okay,
Two separate expenses.
That's how we're gonna do our budget for 25, is those two numbers.
okay. And does the public works, one include, water department as well? Or does that come out of the top one?
Yeah, water is in public works.
Okay,
Yeah, that's actually. Great. And then these payroll expenses, that's taxes,
right,
et cetera.
and that's for everything.
Yes. Yes, including trustees.
Okay.
I'm, oh,
What else?
Yeah, covered the bank, every job of the bank. And so we still have not received payment from, it's called Tyler Industries. There's some company that manages this state portal SIPA, the SIPA payments, they got all wonky because
Right.
we closed the account, the bank account and didn't know, and so I don't, it's bizarre, I mean,
They owe us like $6,000,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, and it's like, oh, well, it's coming, it's like the check is in the mail and it's gonna be months, I mean, like, I went through this whole process months ago of giving them a voided check and, you know, and there's no reason to like get all, scared about it, I mean, they seem legitimate. It's just, it's.
So this is
very-
a credit card portal that we had open for payments of water and sanitation that we've accumulated, but because we closed the portal? No,
Because the money, so the account got closed, the bank account got.
the water sewer fund, and
And
they were supposed to put it in automatically.
And yes, it had been going in automatically into that. And nobody knew and, whatever, it didn't get taken care of, and then when we look back, it was just. We didn't know where the money was, so we contacted Tyler Industries and it's just been in process. In this,
And there's no representative that we can.
yeah,
There
there
is.
is, there's been one contact person. We've both been in contact with her alternately.
Hmm.
And,
Well, I would keep on it. I mean, that's what I would.
yes,
But do they owe us money?
Yeah,
Okay, how much do they owe us?
6,000 something.
Okay,
It's almost all water and sewer related.
but you don't think that they're withholding it for any, it's just their,
I don't think they're sketchy. I
Yeah.
think I don't know what their problem is, why they can't get us the money.
Okay.
It seems like it's really been going on. So just letting you know.
we have exact date from the time it got cut off, like
It was in January.
Right.
Yeah, happened in January, but I don't remember the first time we reached out to or reached out to Tyler, how that actually, I don't even.
And this is money also from last year, right, that we received from last year, that we ended in January. It would be
I
2020.
don't think so.
January
Yeah.
forward.
It should-
6,000
it
in
should-
January?
Yeah, you guys voted on that the day that we got hired on the
I
11th,
remember that,
and the account got closed like days after that, and so.
but I'm saying,
deposits from after that.
oh, I see, okay.
Yeah, I agree though, now that you mention it is a large, okay, yeah, so it was after, so it went on for a while.
Mhm.
I don't remember the duration, I mean, I don't. Yeah, and I haven't accessed the SIPA system.
And then when do we switch over to the other, the new or upgraded system for water and sewer?
It's coming this month,
So,
yeah.
and is that gonna create reports for like accounts receivable and things like that? We'll have, be able to like print out like who owes money.
Yeah, like it does now,
Mhm.
yeah, it's a system that's been working, it's not like it's just not been perfect and we've had some
Mhm.
stumbles.
Are you able to like call people that tell, if we're pretty behind on certain bills for some people? Are you able to call them and tell them they owe money?
I would say it's been more of a defensive posture than an offensive posture because we've been behind and, it's just been, people inquire from us about, hey, what's the deal with this?
Mhm.
I can expand on that. I was planning to expand on that later.
Okay,
Also, whose job is that?
I don't know.
I would have thought that would be Patty's job. Once she's ready
Some of it,
you office assistant job,
to contact
Yeah.
customers,
I would agree.
I wouldn't put the treasurer on that.
No, but we do need some kind of like accurate report that states what it is, people owe and.
So let me ask you on this. So was this a quote or something that go to our website? Make a payment, that money then would, the company who's accepting the credit card payments would then do a direct deposit into this bank account.
correct.
And then this bank account closed, so they were no longer able to do the direct deposit.
Right.
And so now they have been informed of the new bank account, but they have yet to
And it's a bulk, but they're gonna transmit one number. And then I will have to go back and untangle that. Hopefully it will be straightforward, but I'm interested in so.
It's the same credit card
It's not-
company that you're using. Are they also taking payments for other sorts of payments, or was it only water and sewer?
It was other payments too, anyone making a credit card payment.
And those are being transferred to the correct accounts, okay?
But those are very few, so it makes it easy. Like, I can only remember one,
One
honestly.
municipal court payment, and then there's one. This payment that the Baca County doesn't pay to us instead of to.
Is the bank involved with this? And part of it, I'm wondering if the bank has the ability to, when one account at the same entity is closed, to be able to direct those funds into the appropriate account. Is it
It's all, the problem lies all with this Tyler Industries. They need to transmit the money. It's not complicated. They need to do a wire, send a check. They need to just do it, and they haven't. So and they've been talking about it, and they know how, how much they're gonna send, and they probably will send it soon, I hope. I've been hopeful for a while.
But they have all the information they need to do the thing, they just need to do the thing.
Yeah, actually, I asked directly, so are you going to send a check or I'm just realizing that I asked the direct question to this Casey that we've been interacting with. About, are you going to send a check or, what is the deal? And she never responded, so.
Do we need to put it on a legal letterhead? To put a little fire under
I wonder,
them?
maybe we
Let's
should
get it
wait.
done. If you've been waiting this long.
Yeah, it might be,
How long ago did they get the correct bank account number?
I have to look, I mean, it's
But
been
it's been a while
It's
that
been-
they were given the correct bank account number. And so there's no real reason for them to delay.
This Casey, she has represented that it, whatever, it's with the accounting department and it's, it's in the process, so. It might be worth it just to wait a few more days.
To answer some of your questions, we started this in early July. I'm looking at an email from her now. She says that they only remit checks on a monthly basis, so the status of our check remains pending. She's apologized for the confusion. There's a total refund of $6,457.20. So whenever they do their monthly check, is what she's saying. But
And that was in July,
it has been 2 months.
okay.
I think I engaged with a different person in a
That's
DocuSign.
very possible. I'm just saying that since the beginning of July, at least.
Well, maybe,
the end of
if
this.
we could just reply to them and say, I'm checking in on the status of this, can you please, tell me what's going on, and just keep reminding them, because that's the only way it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've got another meeting in 2 weeks, we could give them that time, and then if they don't move forward on it, then we could, get Seth to write us up a letter or something,
Or call.
or call.
I think it's good time frame.
'Cause, yeah, I mean, we all know how slow shit can be.
Okay. And the only last thing I have is that Ronnie Farmer, I just mentioned already that he said he will be sending us an engagement letter.
And I would just reiterate the urgency of contacting that accountant. I feel like that's a real priority.
Do we want to put, a public hearing to do this supplemental budget, so that we, if we get that out of the way, how do you want to do
I
it?
thought we might do it at the next meeting.
The mid-month meeting? Okay. I won't be here, so you're gonna have to run it.
Public hearing. I don't know if we have enough time. I would have to double check on the time frame because we have to notice that in this paper.
30 days,
Yeah.
30 before you.
And then we're gonna be talking about
November, but then we gotta have a regular
October.
budget, October. But then we gotta have a regular budget soon too.
we have to have it in October and then submit it to people for a public hearing in November.
All right, I'm just trying to get you proactive and think that maybe we should schedule our November meeting or October meeting for the supplemental budget, November meeting for the regular budget.
That sounds fine to me. And that also means that as a finance committee, we should just start working from 25.
And if you guys wanna call, like, if you're like, want to have a work session or something after you get some, like a rough draft, then we could do that, so that we're working with you, your questions or we wanna.
I would be fine with having our regular finance committee, and if anybody wants to attend that, then just notice it. So like, we don't have to schedule
Okay.
a board work session as much as just if somebody wants to come to the finance committee and participate. then-
Okay. And you guys are planning on starting the
Well, we just started talking about it
time?
like 2 minutes ago, but it makes sense to start on them.
I'd like to help with the 2025 budget, or at least just like be involved and like see how it functions and how you guys are doing it.
Why don't we have
I would like that.
the finance committee create the meeting and then let us know when it is, and then we notice it, and then we can do it, and maybe do it here.
And the meeting, and
No, I
you'll need how many days ahead to notice it, or
24 hours.
24 hours?
We'll just notice them. And, but that also means citizens can come and watch.
I think that's fine.
Also, I just said, it's a good time for any needs staff might have.
Yeah,
To bring those forward with a cost estimate of what those things are.
yeah.
And, I'd encourage that with strongly. You can even maybe beforehand give them copies of the budget. Worksheet, so to speak. I think it starts going out for themselves.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So that's probably on you to communicate with other staff members and let them know if they have any.
And thank you, finance committee, for doing this supplemental budget. Even though we might not need it, it's still a really good
It's
process.
really a good process, especially because
Good meeting going on.
You're gonna have to sign in if you're not careful.
Have a good day. Nice day. See you at the Energy Fair.
All right.
and yeah, it just seems like really good practice just for learning how to build a
Yeah.
budget.
I agree.
Who all is on the finance committee?
It's Adam, Dennis, and Kim. That's it, right?
Adam, Dennis, and who?
Kim.
Well, and Dana's, I thought we talked about Dana being an alternate.
Right. But that was because of the noticing.
Very good.
Should we mention the dark sky letter? This is all
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
But,
Do we explain what, yeah, so basically we have to reimburse the funds that were left over for that grant because we never used them for the sign. We don't wanna be responsible for handing over money to another nonprofit or whatever it is. And like, some of the people were saying we should just hand over the money. So what we're gonna do is reimburse the county any money we didn't spend with the,
which is $2,992.50.
and
It's
then,
not in the budget. We'll have to,
yeah, we can write it in.
I don't think we ever got a check.
We got 5,000
Yes,
last year.
We got the check, yeah.
Yeah, the idea is that, once this is done and we take the dark sky committee off of our purview, per se, then they're on their own. They can apply for their own dark sky grants. We can apply for our own grants, and we're not tangled up in the mess anymore.
So you're saying the town has, was it 2,000 something that basically was left over from dark skies? You know, as I drive around at night, I see various places that really still aren't in compliance. And, not to a big deal, but, you know, we had purchased those lights before. And I'm wondering, if there's something that we can have that money to where if we have somebody who has an issue to saying, hey, we can help you become into compliance.
No, that would have to be a separate grant. So what, Wendy Mays, not sure her title at the county. Made very clear, it was for the sign. Okay. Just for the sign. And now that we,
any signs or just that sign?
the dark sky
It's a
sign.
big sign.
But could it be a different dark sky sign?
Well, we got those two, and then what we were I mean, we were planning on doing something bigger that we were even gonna need more money for, but then, the citizenry was like. Nobody wanted to have a fancy sign coming into town, so. All that kind of got dropped. There's still some money spent, like the 811 was spent, some design stuff was spent, But as far as doing more signs and stuff, I mean, we should probably kind of get out of the dark sky thing right now, because they're really trying to just sort of take it on their own. But what we could do for compliance is we could, talk to our code enforcement and figure out if people want, to be in compliance. And then we can figure out a way to help them, like if we have to apply for another grant, but that's kind of like, let the dark
So
sky.
that money we have was really only for some,
It's really only for the sign.
and we've got 2 signs that are installed.
We have 2 signs and there was some other money spent that we never used, I mean, like
Okay,
on the 811, when they were gonna dig down below, they wanted to do these, check to make sure that it was okay to dig originally, so that was part of it. So it got spent, but it didn't, never manifest.
is there a time limit on when this money has to be spent?
It was supposed to be spent before the last, it was supposed to be spent for the cycle, on the grant cycle.
So, yeah, I think they already extended, yes, they extended the time, I believe.
Could we, yeah,
We should just give back the money and reapply, I mean,
instead of spending it?
it's already been done. If we don't give it back, we spend it on something else, it's gonna turn into a bigger problem.
So you're saying we can't give it to the Dark Sky Committee?
No.
So it has to be a speed research.
It's basically, what we're doing is we're resetting everything, so that they can reset, they can apply for a new grant, we can reset, we can apply for a new grant. It just starts it fresh,
Okay.
it's a good way to do it.
Did you account for any of your time or Ariel's time in the sign expenditure? I bet we paid y'all $700 to talk about it.
Yeah, that's a good point, no. Is the answer, I had not thought of that.
And trustee time, it's true.
Good point.
Yeah,
And how it works.
But to go through it and try to redo it again.
Yeah.
It would cost an extra. We could probably account for that.
$2,000. I said the administrative fees would have to exceed $2,000.
Yeah,
When you put together, legitimately, when you put together public works.
And sometimes the reason that we haven't gone for grants is because of the expense for administrative research, all that it took to order signs, public works time. I think
Could
that
we-
should be factored into any grant that we.
I mean, these particular signs were done by volunteers mostly, they were all Scott and Steve did it, but as far as the accounting, and that's a whole nother level, if we wanted to charge for administration fees.
Yeah, I had simply not
I didn't
thought of that
Yeah.
at all, I mean, it may, I can ask, if
I think it's.
if my time.
Did you already write the check?
No,
I said you could. maybe-
Yeah.
And, oh, that's cool.
Well, I think that's a very reasonable thing, because we have found ourselves being involved with these sorts of projects and committees and things, and then end up spending a lot of staff time to help manage them and organize them. So I think it's very reasonable to.
We've
look at
spent-
time.
20 hours in this room talking about those
Yeah.
signs.
So I got a question, can we
were paying them the
Right.
entire time.
can we have her call Wendy, but just give her approval that if Wendy says it's okay, and she just takes off with, a certain amount for administration fees, if not, then we just send a check back and.
Personally, I would be like, have. Whoever's handling the grant, if that's Ken, call the county and say, the board is directing me to account for administrative time.
That's fine.
Not, is it okay if I pay you less?
Yeah, I think that it's a better tactic.
That's great, and then, but then she can go forward.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, that makes sense.
And then if we want to, on the next grant cycle, like for instance with you know, special events, you know, all those are things that we end up doing that are extra. I was thinking we should have a grant specifically for special events, things like that. We should
Well,
consider reimbursing ourselves through grants, because this is like what we're,
and if we ever get that room back and turn that into any sort of welcome center and sell Crestone merchandise, I would assume we would have dark sky t-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
But that might be in the town.
Or the town buys them from the dark sky committee at wholesale, and then we just sell them at resale.
Sure.
Which is what we were doing with the pins. Yes.
All right,
They're gonna go, okay.
hope feel better.
Will you, put on the record that you? Yeah, feel better.
Don't go up any ladders.
She found the easy way down.
Anything else on your, report?
Just, to also mention that, I did a separate account for the pins, buying and selling of the pins, and so, that's a net of $500.
That goes back to them.
That will go back to the Crestone.
Sure.
Uh,
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Does that account for your time?
No, I think we should.
All right.
Give that, it didn't.
But let's try to get as much, you know, whatever you can take off for the administration fees, that would be helpful. Finance committee report, did you want to stay for that? Or we don't really have much more besides the supplemental budget.
I think just setting the date for the public hearing.
We're gonna shoot for October regular meeting.
Sorry,
Yes,
I don't know that that would be enough time, but you should do it at your October special meeting.
okay,
It has to be at least 15 days.
let's do that. October special meeting.
What's the date on that?
Which
That's
we
the 28th.
I think we're gonna have to be doing these special meetings for the rest of the year, and then maybe we'll reassess next year. It's just, they're helpful.
Alrighty,
So the October special meeting
So
will.
it'll be the second, or sorry, the third, fourth Monday of the month.
We'll be, I'm sorry, I kind of missed something there. Was it budget related or?
Public hearing for the supplemental budget, and then maybe we'll do,
on the 14th, we might have a draft of the 2025 budget. But that's not a public hearing. So we would schedule,
well, the thing is, the public hearings will be 30 days, so I
yeah, so
would like her
go
to
ahead and schedule the first November meeting.
either first November or the
Second,
second,
let's do second,
okay. Second November
public
meeting,
hearing, 25 budget.
so 1 month apart from the supplemental. budget.
Like,
October 2nd.
That way we can review it during the regular meeting, like a final draft.
Just so we're on the same page, October 28th will be public hearing for supplemental, and November 25th will be public hearing 2025.
Yeah.
Draft.
when's Thanksgiving?
Okay, cool.
That's Thursday.
Do you celebrate it, Rob?
When other people.
It's the 28th.
28?
Yeah.
Okay. That's real close to Thanksgiving, I don't know, if people will be out of town.
I will not be.
I won't have.
Maybe someone.
All right, I guess we can zoom in. If we have to.
So you're talking about October 28th.
The second,
28 is
The 25th in the budget.
supplemental,
I will be going that day.
so
we'll have reviewed it, so it's really just for public comments. Hopefully we'll have a forum, that's all we need a forum. Okay, I report. You can stay.
Okay.
Yeah. My report for September, these past few months have been very busy for the town of Crestone after the mosquitoes scared away most of the tourists and campers in June and July. The retreats and tourists in August and September kicked into high gear and brought hundreds of new and old faces into the Crestone businesses, the Airbnbs and on the streets.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we looking at are we approving the supplemental budget for release today? We need to.
For release, I thought that's what the public hearing's for.
We release it to the public. At least 5 days before the public hearing or something like that.
Oh, I see.
So we need to approve this to release to the public as a draft.
Okay,
Basically, we have to approve a draft supplemental budget.
okay. Let's do it.
And I've read it, so I make a motion,
I've read
I don't know if these words are right, but I make a motion that we approve a draft supplemental budget for release to the public.
I'll second.
Just to be clear, when I'm looking at it, there's 2024 budget totals, that was what we had originally
Existing.
budgeted. And then the supplemental tab is y'all's amendment to it,
Yes.
okay. Great. Just make sure.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye. And Ariel, if you could
Look, we're doing a problem.
ask Seth or somebody for the right wording on that. It's the same intent, but
Also, do we need a cover sheet for it?
probably, yes.
Want as well.
How do we do that?
We talked about that a little bit, we were kind of hung up on it. I think that Kim's paragraph here on page 54 digitally was a great. I mean, I think that's probably sufficient because it's an amended budget.
Do we need it, or I mean, I could understand where during the meeting. Some explanation would be necessary, but as far as advertising, that this is a supplemental budget.
Usually,
I think we should
with
put
all
this
budgets,
paragraph on.
usually with all budgets, you just put a cover sheet that kind of explains it a little bit more details so that.
I recommend we use
Okay.
her paragraph or her statement here.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I'll maybe,
Embellish, or I mean, add to it.
yeah, I'll look at it again and maybe rewrite it a little bit. I hope that we don't get anyone confused. As we try and clarify it for ourselves, like I said, when I put it to Virginia West, like, do we need to do a supplemental budget? You know, she's familiar with
I
it,
wouldn't,
she said, no. She said, no, there was no, thinking about it, because she works with budgets all the time, and, so she's available, if we wanna talk to her, and you can, query her on it specifically, but like, this, I wonder if we shouldn't call it, this is an amended budget, which is for these reasons that we stated. We amended the budget just to be more, to have a clearer sense of where we are.
I have no idea.
I don't think it matters because it's kind of for our own process as well as just to be more accurate. I mean, it just seems like when we got into the budget season last year, we were very unclear about a lot of things. And so this really just clarifies it and gets us back into alignment. Okay. And makes it easier for us to do the 2025 budget.
So my question would be, she makes a good point of what Virginia West said, and it doesn't hurt to be overly cautious on this. But I'm wondering, what is the criteria for having a supplemental budget? Is it when you have really significant changes, either in income or expenses, that requires you to do a supplemental budget? And I'm not seeing really significant changes. I mean, there's changes, yes, but it's not like we got way more money or way less money than what can be expected.
My understanding, and this could change, is that you would know at the end of the year. So you would say, okay, oops, we went over $5,000 overall. We have to do this supplemental budget process and file it. That is my reason.
So do we fall within the amount of differences that we should do a supplemental budget? I mean, when Virginia was said we don't have to.
Well, like, we wouldn't know until actually, I mean, it's a year, but the adjustments we made, you know, it does help kind of do a course correction, like, okay, we better know where we are and where we're going to avoid that.
So
avoid
we're
that.
kind of like, you know, just being proactive and erring on the side of caution.
Right, and also as a, you know, teeing us up for the 2025 budget process, you know, like a little, that's how I think we were thinking of it as a dry run.
It's gonna make it easier for us in the long run, okay?
Yeah, I am concerned about this $25,000 that we got in, like, it's, cause I think that does. I think that will, have an effect on, if we would spend that, I don't think that. And it's okay right now, like, we can categorize it any way we want, I wanna find out, and this is a question for this government, CPA.
There's also something having to do with Tabor that the attorney brought up, saying that you have to be careful with things like that with Tabor. Cause if you receive more than you spend, you have to reimburse the public or something like that, like if you.
Seth brought that up?
Yep, Seth
Okay.
brought it up. And that's a question again for CPA, because Tabor is extremely confusing to everybody, I mean, including accountants. And so, but they have some general guidelines that they stick by, and so it'd be really good to ask the CPA, if you receive more money than you thought, does that mean that you have to reimburse the public,
Right.
you know?
And here I'm reading that basically if the local government receives unanticipated revenues or revenues not assured at the time of the adoption of the budget, the governing body may authorize the expenditure of such funds by enacting a supplemental budget.
Right, yeah,
So,
that little,
yeah,
we read that.
yeah,
Jim, as far as the terminology, I would stick with what the public is most accustomed to.
Which is something,
Right, I mean, if somewhere you wanna work in the word. Or a phrase amended or something like that, that's fine, but I would sure stick with the supplemental word.
we amended our original budget to create a supplemental budget.
is your fear that that there's gonna be some confusion with the community about what's going on here?
Yeah, like we're talking about the supplemental budgets that need to be filed in the past, which, you know, I haven't even looked into. You know, I don't know anything about that, but we talked about getting a CPA to do those filings. And if those are necessary, then those are officially a supplemental budget to be filed. And what we did. We're not planning to file this
Yeah, we were. I think we want
with
to
the
file it.
state.
Yeah. Well, part of it is that the previous budget was formatted weird too, so the fact.
So I don't think we need to do that, and that's the point, and we should get
Let's get clarity on
Yeah.
that, let's figure it out.
input on that.
Either way, we still need to
But we could approve, we've already approved it.
we've already approved it, sorry. Alright. Is there any more on that? You feel good about?
I feel like, that's what I said to you at the last finance committee meeting, is that I don't. Want to hear it from you, Virginia, or Warren, or Elaine. I want somebody who knows the answer
Yeah.
that we can default to.
Right.
To answer that question, whether or not we have to file it with the state.
Right.
Okay.
But I have no aversion to filing it with the state, other than confusing people.
So-
But I think the more we do. The more process
Yeah.
we engage in, the more it builds trust with.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Did you call a vote on that one?
Yeah,
Okay.
we voted. Okay, my report. I was talking about how busy everything was because of the retreatants coming to town. I think there was over almost 400 people. I mean, some of them crossed over between 2 weeks, but for Sophie Rinpoche's retreat, there was 400 people in town, so it was really kind of crazy.
Yes.
Because it overwhelms our system. So, yeah, I said, even though it tends to happen every year, it always seems like a slight shock to the system, and it feels especially difficult to meet up with the demands of this influx of people and energy. Having said that, I wanted to say that if you didn't see me as much in the town office or the town hall, it was due to this influx. And the demands on me were definitely heavier in this regard. Even with this extra busyness, my work as mayor is ever present. Every moment of every day, I feel this great responsibility, and I try never to lose sight of the work at hand. I want to thank everyone for their ongoing commitment to the work of holding this town together. I realize that this town is a never-ending flow of continuous challenges and mini battles. I'm very grateful to our staff for taking on these challenges and overcoming them on a daily basis. Thank you, Ariel, Kim, Brent, Andrew, Eddie, Mateo, and Patty, for your continued striving to keep this town well and alive, so all of us can share in the fruits of your labor. I want to thank the board members that put the extra efforts on various projects, from supplementing our budget to overseeing our infrastructure improvements. That's you. And you, Adam, thank you. This extra work does not go unrecognized, and every effort makes this town more sustainable and responsible. We have a lot on our plates. This next week is the Energy Fair. I'm hoping that the coordinators of the Energy Fair create a responsible and safe event. I spent a few hours at the office of Russell Surveying and got an update on our cemetery LiDAR survey. This type of survey is finalized in a CAD format, and parts of it can be printed for some oversight. So I have those printouts here, but they're really general as far as what you can see, because it's really a CAD document or CAD file that has many overlays and things. But we are paying them, and we will receive the file in digital format, and then we can get a full drainage assessment. And so I was gonna say, we need an engineer to review and make a full drainage assessment and move forward on the cemetery expansion. So that's it. I'll bring that up in the meeting, that we need to, again, look for, do an RFP. Or yeah, probably an RFP that will be somebody who's really good at drainage engineer, a drainage engineer. And then when we take those details, then we have something to work with as far as how we want to expand the cemetery.
Thanks for pushing through the LiDAR stuff.
Yeah, I'm happy. He specifically said that the neighbors weren't so happy with the drone flying over, and they tried to shoot it down. Yeah,
Did they really fire at it?
Yeah.
Or they should-
they didn't use a shotgun, luckily. Rifle. It's a federal offense to shoot down a drone, even.
I mean, it's really not funny at all.
Yeah. He was kind of half laughing about it. He just happy that it didn't actually get shot down. So the other thing we're working on, and we have stuff in our agenda, is we talked about Virginia's assessment and options for hiring the CPA, supplemental budgets stuff, mitigation. I'll talk about in there, our sewer grant. And this is gonna talk about town hall grant, which is the structural stuff. Hopefully we'll maybe discuss it. I don't know if we've gotten any RFPs yet, proposals yet.
Not to me, I don't know if it's that.
Living wisdom, we'll talk about that. Next week on Monday, I leave for Fort Myers. I'm gonna go get my non-mesh hernia surgery. So Adam will be the mayor pro tem. He will be here to run the next meeting, cause I'll be out for a little while. But I will also be available by phone, text, or email, so if need be. This month's encouragement is on maintaining government sustainability. I'm referring to sustaining our commitment and our dedication to this project of responsible, stable governance. We are faced with a series of challenges that will require much perseverance and strong will. So I'm hoping that we can just keep maintaining that. I think we're doing so much better. Feels really good. It feels like we're, finally kind of getting back on top of stuff, although there's more stuff that just keeps coming. So as we are trying to take stuff off our plate, more stuff is coming on the plate, and want to make sure that, we stick with it and keep our ongoing perseverance. And if there's anywhere that anybody can step up as far as their interests, for instance, kidding with the tree board, if you need to do a meeting for the tree board, call that. I don't know if you have to do one a year, anywhere that you're able to pull your interests and just do what you need to do to create committee meetings. Cause I know that, like, even with the trees, we have some that either need to be replaced or removed, and we have to figure that one out. Those aspens that got put in over there and a few others. So, is there any other comments or questions for me that you guys have?
So, I have one question. I probably should have put it on the agenda. But, last week I had, Daniel Johnson come look at a tree that, actually beetle killed, which is kind of alarming for our neighborhood. And he had a concern, and maybe the tree board needs to meet, that with the future mitigation that the town is going to be doing along in public rights of way, roadway. Our rules are set up that, for all the trees, they need to be looked at and decided what's going to be cut or not, which can create a hindrance for people who are doing the mitigation firewise. And I'm wondering if the tree board should meet and do a sort of a blanket approval. When I talked with Daniel, he was like, they make every effort to save heritage trees. And I talked to him about the width of certain trees. He says you can't really go by width, because sometimes you might have several big trees right together, and you pick the best one to save. And I wanted to ask you, with the fireways, is this something, because of the agreement we have with the tree board, that they approve trees cut on the parking lot thing in order to expedite, to be able to say, okay, we give permission for firewise to cut trees within the right of ways, trying to make an effort to preserve heritage trees. But it seems that the tree board needs to meet and be able to give that authority.
Right. So a couple things. We'll go through the mitigation grant a little bit more on the agenda. I did put it on there because there's a lot, the FEMA grant is really tricky. We're only really getting some approvals because there's a spotted owl thing that has to be overcome. We don't even have a spotted owl here, but FEMA doesn't know that. So we have to have a biologist or somebody to sign off on that. So there's only a certain amount of time. And then there's certain areas on this map that we're allowed to mitigate. And then there's another map that we created that is more accurate. And what we're trying to do is maybe get them to do the more accurate map But in the meantime, we can only do the stuff that's on the map that already exists, which is minimal. So what we're talking about doing is some of the right of ways that are, you know, where you have the weed whacking that you were referring to and things that are kind of real low hanging fruit, literally, and then the stuff that would be more intensive, we're gonna have to wait until next year anyways. So there's not gonna be much, you know, many trees that are gonna be cut. Maybe just the dead stuff coming off the bottom and then already stuff that's dead on the ground. So if there is a question, yes, maybe we should have the tree board, you know, check it out before we start, but in general, there's not gonna be much done this year anyways, so,
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, yeah.
I think. The tree board, myself, I feel like in order to comply with our own rules of the town. We could make, you know,
Yeah,
an approval for fire mitigation that.
Right.
Trees that are not considered.
Well, that would be
heritage
great.
Trees be removed, and that can just free you up
that would be great.
to do.
So just in general, it would be great because we, you know, we have two outside people that are our administrator and manager. And for them to have one more document stating, you know, that it's okay for them to cut certain trees, you know, that would be great. So yes, call a meeting for the tree board and, try to get that worked out and also maybe look at the replacement of those. What that will be for next year.
Yeah.
If we put in a budget, we could actually put in replacement trees. For some of these ones that were donated, that were dying, or if there's new
Yeah.
spots that we need them.
We have 3 and possibly 4 trees that need to be replaced.
Yes. Okay. So that would be,
And I would like to make sure that that kind of information goes into creating the budget.
right,
We'll need some information from you.
so that would be what the tree board could need on, is how much money you would need to replace those trees.
Okay.
Do we need Kim?
Nope, I think we're good. Thank you, Kim. We'll call you back when we're gonna do the other evaluation. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Let's move on to clerk's report.
I submitted a written report for your perusal. I don't want to read everything on the report, so I'll just, kind of briefly go through things. We're already going to talk about Armando, he's, on the agenda. The lawyer asked me to put it on the agenda for today for you guys to choose, and you'll have 60 days to decide whether to hold a special election for the seat or, to appoint someone to that position. A big update I wanted to put on here was the Living Wisdom Village project. I've been working with a number of trustees as well as the attorney and the building inspector closely to try and find a way to move forward with the setback issues. Currently where we're at with it is that a certified letter, a stop order was sent to CPC or Crestone Peak Community Housing. With a place for them to sign and give it back to us, seeing that they received the stop order. They also did see it in person because Sam Gates tried to take it over to the project and present it to Alcon. Alcon refused to sign it and CPC didn't sign it either. So waiting on that to be signed, and in the meantime, I've been sending the lawyer any requested materials, including the applications, showing the setbacks and the plans. So really, that's all. I don't have anything further, but.
But that would be
it's not more.
something that we need to really discuss with the lawyer and.
Yeah, to dig in, but I'm here to help in any way possible.
I have a question about, an ordinance that can be approved for the change of use of tap on fees. And, there was a date when that ordinance would come into effect. Is that happened? Do we have?
Yes, it is in effect.
Okay, thank you.
It needed to be published for 30 days and we're over that 30-day period.
Thank you.
I guess the only other thing is that Alcon believes that they're acting in good faith with those plans and that's what they've expressed as well, so. I guess we just move forward once we have the stop order and however the attorney advises.
Are they still working on that building?
Yes.
Yeah, they said that they, as of Thursday, that they were going to stop
Oh,
Sweet. On that.
Alcon said that?
CPCH reported to me that they were going to have out and stop work on that part of the building. I told them that they could work on other areas, but the stop order was specifically for the area in question on Lime Avenue.
so they're actually stopping, they're just not signing that stop order.
They said that they were gonna stop, as for signing the stop order, I'll check in with them, but it's been the weekend, so I didn't. reach out
Does
to
it,
them.
I didn't see the stop order specifically say that it was just for the
I
area in question.
specifically made it for Lime Avenue for the setbacks. In
Okay.
question there.
Okay,
Thank you
and did
for
they
that.
say? Did CPCH say anything else? I mean, about like communicating with us, or if they wanted to have a meeting or whatever?
No, they didn't say anything to that nature. They said that they had looked over the stop order and they were confused by it because they felt like it was too broad and not just about Lime Avenue. That was all communication.
Okay.
Really happy with it.
Hmm.
I'm sorry to always bring up this apartment rental space, but there was never, I looked back through all the minutes and there was a motion to remove the rugs, but it was rescinded. So there currently is no direction to remove the rugs from upstairs or how to proceed. I did have Jacob come and he quoted a few renovation projects in this building. So in my appendix A, if you wanna look at that, it's a quote from Jacob Esquera. It's about $650, he said, to remove the rug. He said it would be approximately, I wanna say $2,900 to do a floor installation in there, fully. And then the remainder of the quotes are in regards to creating a wall in either one of the offices here. Essentially to give the treasurer their own quiet space.
I didn't see that.
It's
It's like in the,
appendix A, still, ain't off the wall or.
so the
Oh.
first one is carpet removal and then it. It's kind of a little.
Oh, that's all downstairs, that first page.
But yeah, but
Well,
The
Everything
carpet removal and disposal is for upstairs, the main office wall and door and office wall and door installation, with installation for sound are both downstairs.
Well, that's a total of $8,800.
And so I just wanted to see if any of these would be, approved by the board. Specifically, I really would want the rug removal.
Yeah,
floor
I would say
installation
that.
Upstairs.
Well, I would even just say the removal.
So for the total to get the rug removed and replaced, it's $5,550. That's what Jacob's quoted.
Didn't that depend on how much anticipated damage might have been done to the?
Yeah, we have no idea,
Right, so. it-
but in here, he
And he did
says,
say the supplies could fluctuate a little bit in pricing just because he's
Yeah.
using like a lumberyard. To get his quotes.
yeah, right, the supplies he's got quoted is just laminate flooring, the underlayment for it, and then stair noses, so if there were subfloor that need to be replaced, then, it would be more.
I would go with, anything that's upstairs, but at least at this point, no additional construction on the interior of these walls down here.
do you want to do the full upstairs permanent flooring install?
Or just the rug removal for now.
Neither one's in our budget. We've already exceeded our expenses for repairs and maintenance.
So is this something I could put on the budget wish list for 2025?
I mean,
And wouldn't any of this be covered by the grant over there?
The structural?
I don't know. That'd be awesome.
We'll be able to get that question answered possibly on the fourth or 8th of October, I don't remember what that date
I
is.
could also ask Randy beforehand, because I do have to work with her to close that EIAF grant
Okay,
anyway, so I could.
If that was the case, I would be like, let's have them do the removal and then assess the situation and see what we wanna put in there if we have the
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, because as far. It's, and I don't even think it's stretching it, once you remove that carpet. And you find out what the condition of the subflooring is, that would also fall into structural.
Yeah,
I mean, based on what we saw, I could see a case for structural.
Can we approve him to remove the carpet so we can see what's up?
and then, are y'all gonna talk to Randy about. If the rest of this could go in the structural grant?
And I guarantee you. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. I bet. We could get Eddie to go up there and remove that carpet under Public Works salary. And I'm already ready to give him a pay increase. But he would do that.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be hard to go, from what I've observed, I don't
It's
think
gonna be
it'll,
harder to get down the stairs and out of it.
yeah, then to get it off.
And cut it in pieces.
So maybe he could be approved to get supplies for removing the carpet, because I imagine if you're looking for Eddie.
What kind of supply?
I imagine you need like respirator, that kind of gear,
We might have,
there might be, I just wouldn't.
So you don't want Jacob to do it, you want Eddie to do it?
Well, we have a $10,000 cushion in our supplemental budget, and that's assuming that we were receiving rental income, which we're not. So it's probably a smaller cushion. So any dollars we can save is great, but only if that's appropriate, he's okay to do that.
and this might be going on a spread out, is, if you, when you talk with Randy. And see if any of this, what we're talking about now, would be covered by that grant, including staff.
Sure.
By the way, did we, for this October 4th, are we gonna decide where we're gonna have it and all that? We can,
I just have the location as TBD for now.
What's October 4th?
that's visioning committee, or
The
visioning
vision with
Randy.
We could do it up there and tear up the carpet together.
It'd be super fun.
Sorry.
So I have a question, if, like some of these supplies, if they're things that Public Works might already have in their own stock, to utilize those first. And if they're supplied, let's say a respiratory mask, would then become part of Public Works stock. So it's not really a one-time use deal, it's adding to.
Yeah, they wouldn't have to get approved to purchase that if we don't have it, cause that would be in the budget.
Under their,
To tools, supplies, all that.
so the direction is to ask Eddie to move forward
The
with,
question is, do we wanna add extra hours for him? That would be what I would say, is not,
or does it sound to be talking to Randy?
I would go with Randy first,
Sure.
to see what's up.
I don't know, I feel like we should get the carpet up.
Yeah.
And
To see what's
operate, like, I think we could maybe do both at the same time. You know, if Eddie can do it, and we can get, if he's got the hours to do it, cause I think that's gonna really show us like.
Can we make a motion to approve Eddie for 10 extra hours to do that?
What's the ad now, 16?
Yeah.
Or 16?
He's $16 an hour for only 20 hours.
30.
I thought 30 was a temporary
Oh,
during his 4th of July
oh,
time.
I thought both of them were doing 30.
I have all the minutes, I can double check it, but from my,
Both of them who?
Andrew and
Andrew's at 15 hours a week.
30 hours for the pay period.
You know, Eddie's,
Oh, maybe it's 20 hours a week. For Eddie.
I don't know, I wouldn't mind if you even extended that. I mean, the guy's a fireball when he's out there.
Eddie? I
Yeah.
would love to pay Eddie more money for more hours.
On,
But I don't know, I don't wanna decide that today, but I think we need to be doing it.
do you want to schedule him for an executive session employee evaluation?
I would love to talk to Eddie in person.
You do
guys
that,
wanna pick a
do
date
that
on
one.
that and have that?
Yeah, and I mean, we budgeted for a raise for him.
Could we, sit down, take pen to paper first and figure out how far we could be able to go before we invite that
Yes,
executive session?
sure. I mean, yeah, we could have a finance meeting next week. We ought, and we could look at that and then decide this.
Yeah.
But in the short term, I feel like we could make a motion to approve Eddie for 15 extra hours to demo the carpet up there,
A one-time fee or
one time,
more a week?
one time.
So I would second that motion, let's get it out of
Yeah.
there.
I think 15 might be too much, but you
I think it's too much,
So the motion was to.
but it's still a 30 cost.
to use Eddie. I would just say,
Approve,
approve extra hours, it doesn't matter if it's, cause I think it's probably gonna take 6 hours, but
approve up to 15 extra hours. He's also gonna need to haul it to the dump
hopefully it'll,
to remove the carpet and haul it.
but I would say that he can also, they could do other dump runs as well, they don't have to just do the shop. You know, they should combine it with other things.
Yeah.
Keep it efficient. So we had a first and second. We're in discussion. Do you wanna read back the motion?
Motion to approve up to 15 extra hours to remove and haul the carpet in the upstairs room.
Sounds great. As soon as possible.
And then, but I would like something, you know, like, I don't think they should just take carpet to the dump on its own. If they have other,
I don't, yeah. They're pretty efficient, right?
I'm gonna share,
okay,
say something that I.
The crowd, if they don't, then the well house, pump house ends up being the temporary dumping ground and it was pretty bad at it. I just like
okay,
make it,
alright, whatever,
that's what there is.
all in favor?
So then we'll see what's there. Talk to Randy, see what the solution is.
Do you wanna go ahead and schedule a finance committee meeting for next week? Or do you wanna send out an email, I don't know, do you wanna send out an email or something?
We could schedule,
Cause if we do it now, then.
it's kind of best to include Kim and.
I would like to make an opportunity to look at my schedule.
Well,
I'll send it in.
Now we have, Lori's Woods. You wanna keep going with your report?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, my next appendix is about Tea Road Brewing, they've submitted a request to have live music on their patio. This is just how it's been done in the past, they just filled out an event form and given it to the board. And just mostly just to let you know that that's happening, but if you would like to make a formal decision on that.
The only thing I would say is like, we approve it, and then if they get complaints, then we're kind of held responsible for approving them.
Well, if they get if they get complaints and they're reported to town, that's something that I have to track and is brought up during their liquor license renewal, so it would be in their best interest to not.
Yeah.
Last time we approved their liquor license renewal, Allison was here. And knows the most about liquor license renewals, and a bunch of people were bringing up noise complaints. And I asked Allison specifically if that had any impact on whether or not we would renew the license, and she said no. So I made a motion to renew the license, so I don't know.
I just talked to Allison, and I just say this because I'm working on the renewal with our Food is Art right now. And that was something that she asked me to look into, and I had to call the sheriff to make sure that there weren't
Okay.
anything, and I had to call the county as well, and so. I am confused that there's a discrepancy there, but I think that is something that is. You're allowed to take into consideration when you're making that decision.
Okay.
Is it, you know, your needs and if your needs and wants of the public are not matching. The business, that's a huge thing.
Okay.
So one thing I would say is, it's better that they have something after Saturday night energy fair because people tend to just wander and have nowhere to go. So I've always kind of thought that having an event after the energy fair is really a smart move. I think there was one night when when they didn't have one and it turned into everybody just kind of hanging out in the parks.
Oh yeah, everyone was in the park until like 11 or 12 with drumming, and I was working at TU at the time, and I got complaints about the drumming, right? It wasn't us.
So it's better if we have a place for people to go, kind of like an after party, but I have a feeling that there's gonna be some people up the hill that are gonna be unhappy about the music going until 9:30.
Saturday night,
That's what everybody kind of agreed with, isn't that right?
Is what?
The time to cut the events.
Well, the events are gonna be cut off at 7. So energy fair is done at 7, right?
Yeah.
Or 7:30, somewhere in there.
I would be happy to assume responsibility for approving that. I make a motion, we approve their
Okay.
town property usage.
This is what they filled out in the past, they were just asked to fill out.
It's
this
more
is
like
our
an
event.
event.
Yeah,
I make a motion, we approve a special event with live music on the patio until 9:30 on September 14th.
Is there a second?
I feel like I have to stay out of this.
You don't, it's not energy fair.
Okay, then I second it.
And I think that's the beauty of it, is that it's not the energy fair.
Is there more discussion? All in favor? Oh,
This is on their property, not on town property.
right,
Correct. It's their patio outside, so it'll be loud until 9:30. And it'll be loud after, but just because there'll be people around.
I do think in terms, like Benji's saying, that like, as far as people not wandering around town, people not like people are gonna be. Like they'll be a little loud, but they'll be like contained to one area and causing less problems and mischief.
I mean, I think we should, no matter what, if you get complaints, should kind of go into a file that we, you know. Only so that, you know, we minimize. This, you know, this kind of late event, I think this is something that people have complained about in the past, and we have to be really careful.
absolutely, if there's any complaints, I'll document it and put it in their file, and just sort of all of it, and they'll get filed accordingly. To, if it's a specific place, or if it's public works, or whatever.
They're also having an after party inside from 9:30 to 11:30, so.
And I think this kind of follows along with our philosophy on the event committee. But clustering this as part of the, even though it is the energy fair, it's happening at the same weekend. Rather than another weekend, it's kind of like, this is going to be a noisy weekend. And it all fits together as, you know, an event weekend in town of Crestone. And so I think it kind of goes in with our whole, you know, identity criteria, so.
Okay, all in favor?
Uh, Fire department's gonna turn around and ask to have a band outside on Halloween, and that'll go to 9:30. If not later.
The next thing is that I have accrued overtime, and I apologize for that. I was under the impression from our talks that I could like, if I did have overtime, it could just be used as vacation time later, and I wouldn't have to get paid on it. I'm not trying to be a burden to town, I don't want to get paid extra. Now that I do know that this is a problem, I've capped myself at 40 hours maximum a week. But with that being said, I do have overtime accrued, and I'm asking for how to proceed with that. And suggesting that maybe if I do have to be paid for overtime, it could be split out over a number of paychecks instead of like one huge.
So this came up because when we originally decided for Ariel to have a salary, we didn't understand that the state has basically stopped anything over 40 hours being, like, for instance, if you're on a salary, you can't go 50 hours without getting paid overtime. So it's kind of, it's good for the employees, not so good for the employers, but it's also to protect the employees so that they, aren't overworked. But if she was doing hourly anyways, she would be getting paid overtime.
Yeah.
But we do, because she's on a salary, we have to figure out do we take if she gets paid overtime, how do we figure out how much she gets paid overtime? It's usually time and a half. In other words, if she only worked 30 hours, she would get paid more hourly because she's on a salary. She's getting paid 40 hours, it comes to like, what, 25.80 is what we,
Yeah, and my understanding, and I apologize for the misunderstanding, was that some weeks would be heftier, like last week, trying to get together and the agenda. I needed more than 40 hours, and some weeks I don't need 40 hours, so I thought it would all just kind of.
and I said that, when it comes to like a few hours over or a few hours under, then it would balance out, and she can kind of keep track of that on her own. But if it's becoming 30 hours overtime, that's a lot
30 hours overtime?
But it was over the course of
a month.
2 or 3 pay periods.
Yeah, we can't do that.
No, normally we wouldn't, but she has worked it.
Okay.
She has already worked the 30 hours over 3 pay periods. Not knowing that it was,
So is anyone proposing that then we pay 30 hours at time and a half?
well, that's what she would normally get paid.
Okay, but
I really didn't want to be in this position at all, honestly. Yeah, whatever you guys think is fair, like I said, I don't wanna be burdened, so like. Just pay me time and a half or not, and if you spread it out, I think it wouldn't be so.
I think that we signed an agreement to say this is how much we would pay. And we were all communicated with, including Ariel, that that's how much we would pay. And some weeks might be more, and some weeks might be less than the hours, which I'm pretty sure I was like. Not into, because I like that clear agreement of how many hours are expected and willing.
But what I'm trying to say is, even if we had given her a raise up to a certain point, say it was 26,000,
Then we're gonna,
and she still worked overtime,
she ought not be working overtime.
right?
We can't pay overtime.
Right.
We can't pay, even if we paid you half of, instead of 1.5. If overtime hours were like, let's pay half of her regular, we can't do that. It's not in our.
So there's a thing in the state law, if you get paid a certain amount, I think it's $55,000 a year, which she's under that. It's called it's like comping, and basically it was for elected officials and their clerks. Because what happens during election times is that they end up working a lot more time. During that time, and then they can cut back after elections and whatnot, so the idea was that. That they would be compensated for the extra time by cutting back on other times, so you worked 50 hours over here, and you worked 30 hours over here. And it was a way of kind of like
And you don't have to pay
adjust
overtime,
that, and you don't pay over.
but they have to
But
make 55.
you have to make
I'd
55,
rather pay her 55 than a single overtime. Amount. Cause that's gonna add up way more.
well, what that little bit, $2,500 is basically.
A month of overtime.
What does that mean? But she's not gonna do overtime anymore. So if we pay her the overtime for the work that she's done. Even it out at about 55. And then she will stick to the 40 hours. If she goes over an hour or two here, she can.
Not according to the law. Oh, if we
According-
get to 55.
If we get to 55, according to the law, there is that thing called compensation. or
Okay, but if we-
comp employee.
If you're just suggesting If you're just suggesting that we pay the overtime hours, if that gets over 55, does the comp apply?
I don't know.
Okay, so we can either pay her the overtime hours and say never work another overtime hour again, or we could say we'll pay you 55 and you're comping all year.
And I would look
mean
that up
raise-
because I don't know if it's.
Raise the salary.
Raise the salary.
And what is the what did we put the salary at?
52.50.
Okay,
53-ish.
and how many overtime hours do you have, Ariel?
I have 30 that were accrued over 3 pay periods,
Okay,
and
and
I can promise
So
to never
30.
work more than 40 every time.
and when we break down your hourly, what does it come, like if we take the
Would be,
salary?
if it was 40 hours, it'd be 25.80.
Okay, and so we would,
So say it was 26, so 13 plus 20.
So-
26,
what is time and a half would be $39.
39. So it's 1100.
So yeah, it will it like do, I mean, we have to. Ariel's already worked the hours, so we do have to compensate her for those hours. But yeah, do we pay $11.70 or do we, and never get overtime again,
Yeah,
or do we get overtime? With that,
Could we swap vacation?
Well, that's kind of comping.
That's common.
That's comping.
And that's what I thought, that was what would happen.
but there has to be.
I could look at, they look at there's 55,000.
Yeah, there's, it's 55,000 or above.
So you normally get how many weeks vacation after the first year? It was by hours worked, so. An additional week's paid vacation.
That was what I was hoping would happen, I'd rather have like time to go home for Thanksgiving rather than.
I'm just thinking what I would like.
Yeah.
I'm so selfish that I.
No, that's what
You already get some vacation.
so if you had a choice between extra vacation, getting paid for those overtime hours, or going to the 55 salary.
I would say vacation hours or going to the 55 salary, just so that I could have the flexibility of some months.
Which she's gonna need all year. And she can say, I'll never work overtime again, but I guarantee you she's also gonna come back and say, sorry, I couldn't get it done, cause y'all won't pay me overtime.
I'll tell you,
I mean, but we would have to do the 55 to be able to give her the vacation,
it's been,
if it's a comp,
Okay.
but then it kind of works out. Anyway, you know, like we could do the 55 and then comp this with vacation time and then we don't.
But I don't wanna do the 55. Are you saying if we do the 55 and every time she works overtime hours, we have to give her extra vacation time?
I mean, we
I
have to
thought
go
it
to
was that
some.
she could do less some week and more the other.
I think that it can work out like that too.
That's the only way I would wanna do it.
Okay,
But those might be questions we don't really know the answers to. Even if you sit there. and-
it's been a nice secure feeling knowing that you've been there. So, but I don't want you to have to work all the time.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
For you.
No, I mean, it's not that I'm trying to, there's just like, there's things that come up and they're so depressing that like I can't,
And when I say shouldn't, I mean, for your own work life balance.
yeah.
And like, part of, we tried to make the budget. To like decrease everybody's. You know,
Like
Over-
hours and overtime,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing.
so people don't burn. And they don't. Take the word.
Yeah, and leave you guys in the mess that was before where you don't have access or. Yeah. No, I don't want that either.
What's the decision then? What's the decision? I'm trying to find that one. Law that basically said that.
I mean, I don't really wanna like make the motion based on you and Ariel telling us that that's the law. And without a clear understanding of the law.
I know, and it's really,
Can we pose the question to Seth and get a better understanding what our options are?
I think compensation and, could either be the cash in hand or the additional vacation time.
And then we won't get any more overtime hours.
Oh, you won't, yeah.
Is that?
What I like about,
Forever, I'll say it was
I would
40, even if it's not.
what I like about raising the salary is that we do have the opportunity for Ariel to mediate her hours and use the extra when she needs it, and then be able to take off time the next week when she doesn't. I mean, I think that like overall, it's beneficial for her to have that flexibility. And then keep it, you know, and like the philosophy being the hours annually still being the seven.
Would it help to talk to the lawyer and maybe just clarify that, it would help give peace of mind?
I know for a fact that we have to pay you overtime,
Not if we raise.
but then there's this thing called, the comps, or,
Overtime or comp? Or is comp or can be overtime or compensation?
comp is where she gets like, she moves her hours around. Because she's busier at certain times of the, you know, doing certain things. That's why they do it, like the ski industry has it because. There's like certain exemptions, I would say, and one of them is,
I imagine it'd be elections, it would be
Yeah.
around like budgeting, there's just times when there's more.
Then I make a motion, we trade her overtime hours for extended vacation. And that she agrees to not work any more overtime hours until we come up with a longer term solution.
I would second that motion.
I'll admit I'm having a hard time with that second part. I mean, just, not that I wanna work her into the ground.
Well, in 2 weeks, we can decide to pay her 55 and then we can have overtime all year. Every other week at least.
I think if that is what like if Seth can come back and say that that is how it works, then I would totally go for that. But I don't necessarily want to approve it without knowing that
Right, and
it doesn't work.
yeah, and I could even just say I make a motion. To trade her current overtime hours. For paid vacation. And that's that motion. Second,
Second,
you like the first part? Alright. Benji,
is there more discussion on it? Can you read it back?
Motion to trade current overtime hours for paid vacation.
which is acceptable to you, right, Ari?
Absolutely.
And
Any
then
more
motion
discussion?
seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
and then I would hope we can direct Ariel to not work any more overtime hours until we come up with a longer term solution.
So that's just a direction.
Sound all right? Sound all right?
That sounds good to me, and thank you, and I apologize.
It's not your fault. I need to post it.
Thanks for everything you do.
Yes, thank you for being
I just have a few more things, I've been talking with, some of the employees over at the Baca Grande POA. And I think there's ways that we could collaborate more, as trustees and as employees and share resources. I just wanted to ask for permission to start planning, some sort of meet and greet between all of us, just to kind of like break the ice and, just something really informal. And I would come to you guys with a proposal beforehand, with like a budget, but I don't expect much. I just think somewhere where we could like share some snacks and, you know, converse would be just like the way to, start that off.
Sounds awesome.
I love that.
That sounds okay to me, guys. I will start working on that. Deanna Wilfong reached out. She wanted to make sure that it was okay for her to do trunk or treat again, in town. She just wants approval from the board to continue that tradition, and she's not asking for any streets to be closed down. She's asking for it to begin at 5:30 PM on Halloween and go until about 8 PM.
Did they ever fill out a form or anything for that?
To my knowledge, I haven't seen anything from them.
We do it every year.
Give the kids candy.
Yeah, it's just a nice, town event, really, that she's willing to plan with other businesses and take full lead on. Sick. A big one, in my appendix D is, a request for a new phone system. We did have a motion to purchase a new phone system, which I did, but then it came to my attention that we're all a liability for town using our personal cell phones to conduct town business. If anyone was to issue a FOIA request, which they could, for our cell phones, I believe that would create a strong issue, and the attorney has collaborated on that as well. So I propose for us to use this voice over internet protocol. Essentially Vonage would supply us with 5 phone lines, 5 extensions, so we could have numbers for each department. So that phone calls would go specifically to department instead of having to be funded necessarily via the office assistant or clerk. Everyone will be able to access this phone from their computer, from their phone as an app, or from the physical phone in the office. And all of the information will be stored in one place, so if someone was to request our information or communications, we could easily supply it and not have to go to their personal cell phones. It's a little bit pricey for sure, but I believe that it'll offset its cost in the end. The most of the price is the startup, it's about 680, within about 180 a month pricing after that. But you would be getting rid of your consolidated communications bill, plus you wouldn't necessarily have to pay a stipend to your employees for phone use, because they would be using your phone system. So that would eliminate Brent and Kim's phone stipend as well.
What is their phone stipend right now?
It's $100 to Brent per month, and then it's $20 to Kim as of last month.
Okay, so if we, and this 181 is the monthly rate.
That's your monthly price.
Okay, so if we. Whatever, $60 more a year after we take the stipends off.
Plus, I didn't have the information on your consolidated bill, to know how much that is per month, but there would be savings from that, because you would be paying for landline.
Wasn't there some connection between the water distribution system and emergency contact with Brent? Added to his phone, and that's why it got as high as it did.
What I understood was he has some sort of emergency line that makes him able to make calls in multiple areas that other people wouldn't necessarily have service.
Which he actually gets a discount on his cell phone bill for that, so they shouldn't be paying more for that. If that's first net,
That's what I understood.
yeah,
too.
he pays less.
Cutting that payment to his phone. Will we be cutting off that service?
He would still have the service. I don't know that you would have access to him utilizing it on your behalf.
Yeah, he wants I think, the point you're making, I think is true. I think Brent's gonna want us to pay for his phone. Regardless,
Yeah.
because his point is that he's out in the field and can use his phone out in the field, and we should be paying for it.
And if he's using his phone to access this system, then he's gonna want us to pay for it.
So we're still stuck with that.
Probably, I think he'll want that.
I just can't believe y'all approved $100.
At
But
the time, it seemed to make sense. I don't know about now.
The other
I
thing
mean,
is,
his phone bill is probably
do we keep the same
$50
numbers?
a month.
Like
No,
the two?
it would be your number.
So the only thing I would say, even though. I just feel like those numbers we've had for a long time as landline numbers. and I know that, and I would hate to lose them, plus. You know, we should have one landline at least in this place. Cause the internet isn't always on, you know, sometimes you have the internet go down and you still. You know, for emergency reasons or whatever, it'd be good to have a landline going.
The only advantage I see to this is that. Right now. People could. Cora request. Anybody's phone is being used. For town business.
And if someone or requested, for example, my phone, where I have, you know, personal and business conversations. I don't know how you would possibly go through, like, even my text with the mayor is like, how would I determine what was like business versus. You know, and I don't want my cell phone opened up to not kind of scrutiny, really.
That's a nice one.
But I don't wanna pay. You know, $2,500 a year. $3,000 a year,
For
that,
that.
I would rather than just not use their phones. I guess that's really just the challenge of cell phones and no landlines.
I mean, another option is to have work phones. To have like, you know, a smartphone that are work phones,
Yeah,
you know, that are that we would supply. And
three
I,
of them,
So like,
I think that-
we've been doing that in the past because of our. Work phones.
Are there?
There's like an old Talk Plus phone that I assume maybe Gretchen was using.
I think that could potentially, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think it could potentially be cheaper. If,
we would, yeah, if we no longer paid,
I don't,
then we could no longer pay. it.
it's not that much cheaper because like, we're paying. Like we have 5 phones on our net, I think it's like. Over $300 for 5 phones.
Including, not including purchase of phone.
Well, there is a little bit of that, but it would be more like 400 with phones.
I mean, my plan is $25. So,
Or just a basic
it's unlimited talk, text and data
with Verizon.
through Verizon's Visible. Do you use Visible?
And when we're talking about, just to reiterate, when we're talking about this $263 a month in year 2, that also does include a cell phone stipend. So that's more like, you know, over $4,000 a year versus $75 a month for 3 phones.
If you have someone that's on call. Like our water or CDB, and technically, I'm surprised they grew. In this past, I mean, they were working on the call list for emergencies. Yeah, I don't see what the savings would be. Even if we bought and had our company phone, so to speak, only, because then we'd still be paying for that on-call service.
What on-call service?
Brent's, on phone.
No, we would just be giving him a $25 a month phone and not paying him $100 for a cell phone then. Stipend. Plus this phone system,
And it would be the same. Or
Same what?
less,
less money.
yeah,
Right now, we pay him $100 a month. If we get this phone system, we'll be paying an additional $260 a month in year 2. So we'll be paying, you know, plus Ken, that would pretty much be $400 a month. For this phone system and for their cell phone stipends. And if we were able to get what Dana's talking about, then we would be paying $25 a month per phone, and if we got 3 phones. And Benji never texted Ariel on her personal phone again, and same with Brent about work. It's $25 a month. Per person.
Just they have their own phones.
Just quickly looking it up on Back Market, here's a Google Pixel 3 for starting at $95,
To
so like.
purchase.
I think we could probably get everybody, satisfy the need of protecting our employees' privacy and do it for cheaper than,
Could we just table this? Or,
I'm gonna send you some, this one.
You guys could do it in,
I don't wanna do something that's gonna end up backfiring.
Alright,
Do you want me to look further into what Dan is talking about
yes,
and bring like a proposal for that?
and run it by Brent, because that's where we're gonna get some pushback, and. I think the motivation to run it by Brent is that right now his phone is public record.
I
And if
think,
we get,
yeah, he needs to know that.
and if we get,
I've talked to all the employees about this.
What was the feedback?
They're pretty much open to whatever, he doesn't want his records, requested. Yeah,
nobody wants a record request,
No, I know.
it still could happen.
I just don't even know what that would look like. How would that feasibly work?
Yeah, if they're subpoenaed, they're subpoenaed.
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean, that could happen.
Yeah. Yeah,
But Cora is different than, I don't know, the court order. In other words,
it can, the lawyer has asked that you. Like, just do business on your town emails.
right,
Right,
and that's public record.
right.
Yeah. Okay, that's where this conversation kind of stemmed, and you mentioned that it also,
But I would say you and me texting about town hall is not open to public record, but if we included Dennis, it would.
gotcha,
That's how I understand,
that would be my understanding too, and then it would be a meeting.
but you texting with Ariel would be. public
let's,
record.
let's do a little more research and table it for the next meeting, and you guys can do,
I just sent
seems
you a
like you have a
message
good
about,
opinion about it, but you should
about
maybe
it.
get a bit more understanding of what.
Okay.
And you guys can make.
Um,
Next, we have
Yep, that's on.
resolution, are you done, you're done with your report? Next, we have resolution 006-2004, resolution of the Board of Trustees of the Town of Crestone, accepting the resignation of the trustee declaring a vacancy.
I make a motion, we accept
Resolution,
trustee Mendez's
oh,
resignation.
second,
006-2024. All in favor? Aye.
Actually, I apologize, can you? It should be resolution 007.
Okay,
Can we make that?
well, you'll change it?
Yes. Okay.
As amended, I guess. To 007-2004. Next, we have. Ordinance number, wait, this is, yeah, model traffic code. Do we need the lawyer for this one?
Yeah, you're under attorney's report
Oh,
right now.
operation of golf carts?
yes, but that'll come on. Here it says it under, it's twice. So you have it under new business and you have it under attorney report.
Yeah, from what I come to understand, even if you're making motions of your reports, it has to be an agenda item, so that I can tie the motion to your agenda item, so that's why I think show it twice.
Okay, so let's also he was serving on San Luis Valley Council of Governments. Were you second to that? Were you supposed to?
I was, like an alternate for him, but.
Would you like to be the, no, let's leave that position open
We can-
and then just bring it
We
back
can
up.
talk about it.
Unless anybody really wants to be part of that. Next, we have a public hearing. No, we're not doing that. Can we do the public hearing without the attorney?
I think you should wait for him to
Okay.
do that.
Same with the liquor license. And executive. What about executive session?
The liquor license you can do without one. You're just voting to approve on the renewal, and I can speak to, I went and did a building, or I did a liquor inspection for them, and they're following all of the codes and ordinances. We're doing everything right in there. There's no complaints to town for our food is art, and there's no complaints to the sheriff's office or the county regarding our food is art as well.
About liquor and,
About liquor or noise, or they have no complaints at all.
So this doesn't have to be a public hearing?
It's just a vote to approve their renewal. Or not,
So it'd be fine to be able to make the motion that we approve the request for renewal of the liquor license.
yes, I have their application, I have their fees in total,
I always thought we did public hearing for renewals, no?
but the public hearing was for new liquor licenses like, Love Enterprise.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Is it all the ordinances we wanna wait for Seth? Is that,
I was wondering if we wanna go back and do an executive session for personnel matters right now, or we wanna wait till later.
I don't care if we do it now. We'll be busy later.
If you wanna do it now, I have the CRS code.
Yeah. Let's do it. I'm gonna kick you out, Sean, and.
Okay. My back's killing me anyway, so.
Okay. Well, we'll let you know, we need to, we'll have you come back, I guess, if you wanna be on,
Probably write a letter of intention if
Yeah.
you're interested.
you mind doing that?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I just.
So a letter of intention, just,
I can't even just check out.
yeah, if you wanna be on it, then write a letter of intention. If you don't, then don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
Yeah, thank you, Sean.
Somebody close
yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Sorry, I was.
Oh, really?
Oh, this is how.
There was also. Also a cheat sheet, what am I supposed to say? Script sheet.
Oh, I had so much coffee.
For a bit.
It'll be back. Send some paper.
Yeah. Was that the first time you had done Challenger, Adam?
It's the first time I've ever done that. 14.
Yeah, if I go back up and see what it is. I haven't done, the 14 years I had.
Like a,
I wanted to kick Carson. As well.
Yeah, I've done, it's like, I guess I just know my limit.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the ridge to Kit Carson looks pretty fun and exposed.
I would say exposed and not fun.
Yeah,
I mean, even when I eyeballed the ridge to Challenger, I was like, oh, I can't do that.
yeah,
And then I did it, but I could go down on that other side and not have to.
go down the way, you didn't go down the way you.
No, I mean, I could go up the ridge, but down a little bit.
Oh, I
So I
see,
wasn't like up on there,
I see, yeah,
cause that's not my jam.
yeah,
And I was like, I mean, I was destroyed,
yeah.
like, so exhausted.
Did y'all go to the lake and camp and then do the summit?
I was destroyed at the lake.
we're just gonna take a 5-minute break before then
Can
we
we stop that
stop the recording.
or even? I don't even want to.
We're gonna take a 5-minute break, is that what it's?
Yeah. I move to go into an executive session, for the discussion of personnel matters under CRS section 24.6.402, parentheses 2, parentheses 4, or parentheses F, and not involving any specific employees who have requested discussion of the matter in open session, any member of the body or an elected official, the appointment of any person to fill an office of this body or an elected official, or personnel policies that do not require the discussion of matters personal to particular employees. Is there a second? Discussion, all in favor? Aye.